when we took the offer, we took 75% up front, and then we rolled back in 25%. Now we're owner of the conglomerate.
So you took your equity play out of the first one and said, I'm gonna bet on myself and go second one because you can double, triple, whatever
exactly.
happens.
We can do it all over again. So I tell people, and then in April, no.
So wait, that looked like 2 Super Bowls.
That's what it's, yeah, we sold it twice.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Maxwell, and I am your host of the Maxwell Show. And you guys are probably thinking, where have you been? Don't worry about it. I've been getting things together, but I'm back like Jordan wearing the 4-5 right now. So this is the first episode back of the Maxwell Show, and I got a guest for you. In the old podcast, I tried to get him to rock with me. Things had to simmer down, but my guy is he's a Super Bowl champ. Not in like the sports, but in business. Like, he's got a ring. And if you know anything about me, having a ring means you sold and exited your business. So welcome to the Maxwell Show, my guy, Rod Brown. What's up, man?
Glad to be here, man. What's happening?
How you been, bro?
Man, I've been good, man.
Welcome to the new set. You're the first guest on the set.
This is incredible. I'm blessed. I'm excited that I'm here.
So
yes,
before we talk about the Super Bowl ring, the business Super Bowl ring, you know, you and I have been in masterminds that you have put together with some tremendous people that I had the opportunity to meet. Matter of fact, a lot of them are going to be the first few guests back on the show because a lot of them are so interesting.
Nice.
But tell us about your upbringing. Where you from?
Man, I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why you bought that house down there or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, on the beach. Down in Topsail. Born and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina, man. Kind of, real humble upbringings. I didn't know I was broke till I went to college. That kind of thing. I didn't know we were broke till we went to college.
Tell me what was that like? Like you think, all right, cool, I'm in Wilmington, I'm living a good life. You pull up to college. What was going on?
So money really wasn't a thing, man. But my great grandfather, he was actually an entrepreneur and he actually owned rental property, but that meant nothing to me.
Okay.
Right? And then obviously it didn't mean a whole lot to our family after he passed away, like the patriarch, because everybody sold. We sold everything.
Okay,
right?
so y'all really didn't get it.
Didn't get it at all.
Okay.
Didn't get it at all. And so I go to college and 21-year-old kids, they driving like really, really nice cars. I don't have a car. And then my first one is a $800 Datsun B210.
Okay, the Datsun.
The Datsun, right. Most people don't know what a Datsun is, man. And so, grew up in Wilmington, had a great time, played sports a little bit. Really just love that community, and one day may end up back there retiring. That's chilling.
Nice.
Yeah.
You heading that way?
Yeah.
You heading that way?
Yeah.
So what college you go to?
I went to Winston State. Yeah.
So right here?
Yeah, that's how I ended up in this area, man.
So you around?
I'm around, went to Winston State. So I was dating this is how I made decisions back then. I was dating a girl who her dad lived in Winston-Salem. So she said she was going to Winston State. So I was like, oh, me too.
That's not uncommon. Everybody make decisions like that. At that
but
age.
she didn't go to Winston State. She went somewhere, but that kind of forged my path.
So you pull up to Winston State. She going somewhere.
Yeah, she going somewhere else. So I'm like, that's just how thoughtful my decisions were back then.
And what did you study when you was in college?
I started out as a computer science major. Got bored real quick, and then just went straight business, concentration in information systems.
What was your freshman year? What year was that?
Freshman year was mid-80s, 84,
so
85. At
that point, was that a common degree for black folks to be like going to like?
Very popular.
Okay, really? That's
particularly HBCUs.
Okay.
It was like the thing because a lot of folks, IBM, to name one, they were hiring a lot of African Americans in computer science. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so computer science, and then you switched?
Yeah, switched to information systems. A lot easier.
Still
less
along
math.
the same, still in the same area.
Yeah, no coding though. I didn't have to.
Okay.
I didn't have that coding brain, that logical, coding brain. So,
got it. I don't either.
Yeah.
Not math. Forget it.
Yeah, I like math though, but I just didn't have that logical brain to actually have to create code.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what kind of student were you?
Man,
you're a big dude, so you was an athlete or no?
I played just a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro, I barely got out of Winston State.
Okay.
Barely got out of Winston State. Pledged a fraternity in my junior year, and after that, I lost my mind, bumped my head, and
just
everything was important except for academics. I did kind of camp out in in a little spot where they had people coming in doing interviews. So I was a skilled interviewer.
Okay.
But yeah, man, my grades were just, and I was able to kind of mask that by telling people, you know, companies that I had to pay for my education, so I had to work a lot. So that's why my grades were just mediocre.
Say, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, pretty much. Beast mode. Exactly.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You know, going through when you start to, you about to graduate, I'm assuming. Yeah. I mean, what was you, as going through college?
Yeah.
Do you think, okay, this was a good mistake? It took you 4 years?
Yeah, I've always been like, well, I did a co-op. Somebody believed they trusted me to do a co-op or an internship with the North Carolina Department of Labor.
Okay.
So I did that for 2 semesters. So it took me, 4 years plus those 2 semesters to graduate. But yeah, so going through college, it was like the crew I hung out with. It was always, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We all got jobs, but it was like this can't be it.
Got it.
This can't be it. Yeah.
And so leaving out, first of all, everybody's gonna ask, what fraternity did you pledge?
There's only one. It's one fraternity. There's a bunch of social organizations, and we just happen to don the colors of crimson and cream. So Kappa Alpha Psi.
Okay, Kappa Alpha. Okay,
yeah, but you my guy, man. So I
didn't go
Alphas only is.
But that's just that ain't got. Remember, I didn't go to college.
Oh, that's right. You didn't.
So
I thought you were an Alpha. Why did I think that?
A lot of people, when I wear Alphas only, a lot of people say, "Yo, you know Alpha." I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Alpha.
No, not at all. No, sir.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow me to get in college, even if I had the money to pay. I didn't have the grades to get in.
You could have gotten college. Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
I was such a bad student. I didn't even take the SAT.
There are people who went to college. There are people who went to they went to Ivy schools that didn't take the SAT.
Well, I guess what you don't know, because for me, I had thought at the time college was not an option. So at 17, I went right to the military.
Wow.
Which I am not. I love that. I love that decision because it put certain disciplines in me that I still carry with me today. So I think if I would have went to college, I wasn't a great student in high school, so I probably would have been even worse when you interject like the women aspect of me having to focus. Right. And so I went to military where you didn't really see any women, so I was good.
Yeah, so my influencer said you got 2 choices: go to military or go to college. And again, I went to Winston-Salem State on a whim that my girl was going to be in Winston-Salem, and I was about to go into the Air Force. I did everything except go and take the oath.
Wow, so you did the ASVAB and you was ready to go.
Everything, ready to go.
Okay, so you graduate, you do this co-op at the Department of Labor. At that point, you probably thinking you probably gonna go there and work?
No, at that point, I just wanted to have an option.
Okay.
Yeah. So graduating, that was an option because I did a pretty good job, at that internship.
And you started bouncing around after that, after you graduated? Or?
No, I had 2 offers.
Okay.
I had them and I had Wachovia at the time. Wachovia Bank. Yeah, in banking operations, which is like the back office of banking. All I knew about banking at the time was branch banks. And so I was like, I don't want to work in a branch, and say, we got this thing called operations.
And that would have been right here in Winston because I'm actually in the Winston Tower. One of my offices are in the Winston Tower. It would have been there?
Well, actually, it was on 4.5 Street, West 4.5 Street.
My father worked there.
Really? Okay, yeah.
My father worked there, 4.5 Street.
Yeah. So I had 2 offers, and so my youngest daughter makes $10.50 an hour.
Okay.
At an ice cream spot. So we did the math, and she makes more than I made in my corporate job coming out of college back then.
Even with inflation?
Not with it. Well, not much more.
Enough.
Not much more.
It wasn't an ice cream shop.
I made $20,000, and I was like, "Can I get some more?" And they were like, "We'll give you $500 more." And I was like, "Yeah, I won." $20,500.
But that's a common thing. One of my good friends, Nas, he graduated and went to work at a call center. He just thought when he graduated college, it was going to be game over. Money was just going to be flowing. He said he made like $30,000 a year working at a call center, and then luckily he found real estate and was like, "Yo, I'm out of here."
Right.
So you take the job at Wachovia?
I took Wachovia, because it was in Winston-Salem. Didn't have to change a whole lot. Didn't have to move to Raleigh. Yeah, that's where
you literally went down the street.
Huh?
You literally went down the street because that's not too far from where the campus is.
Right. Absolutely.
And then how long you stay? You love it? You like it?
Nah. So everything is like competition for me. So I get in there and I'm like, I don't really want to be there, but I'm like, if I'm here, I gotta win.
Okay.
So like I got a promotion every 8 months.
Okay.
And I became like Mr. Wachovia. I was the black Mr. Wachovia. So anything that happened in the city that Wachovia's a part of, get Rod.
Because they need the black guy.
They need the black guy.
Okay.
Get Rod. And so I did that I kind of bounced around inside of Wachovia for 16 years. The last stop was wealth management.
Okay.
Because I had the entrepreneur bug, and it was like operations is, we just had to make sure money didn't leave the back door, right? We're just playing defense. And so wealth management was the closest thing to becoming an entrepreneur. And so everybody told me no, kind of finagle my way into wealth management. And so I did really well there. Became like top 5 in the whole company. But still was like, this is still not it, because I was chasing cats like you.
So you won that. You was looking at entrepreneur shows and magazines and all that stuff.
I'm looking at people that I manage money for.
That's even worse. That's even worse than, because you see it.
Let me tell you a quick story. So I inherited this account. It was a $60,000 account. Dude called me up and was like, man, I just need to cash that account out. I'm like, why? I just became your advisor. Why? He was like, well, it was my cousin's. His cousin got fired. Mm-hmm. My cousin was managing for me. I just gave it to him because he's my cousin. It's like, what are you going to do with it? He said, I'm going to go buy a vet. I'm like, no, you don't, my wealth management mindset is you don't want to do that. You're losing money, right? You don't want to do that. So I don't know a whole lot about the guy. I said, you mind if I come talk to you about it? He said, yeah, come on out. So I go to this little shack in Kernersville, North Carolina, right? It's a little shack. I walk in, I see all of these floor buffing machines, right? It's like 6 or 7 guys in there. They kick back, lay it around. And he takes me to his office where it kind of opens up like, ah. And so we go in his office and we sit down, and he said, Rod, can you turn this into this $60,000? He said, I'll leave it with you if you can turn it into $180,000 in a year. I said, no, I can't promise that.
I can't do that.
He said, did you see all those machines when you walked in? I was like, yeah. He says, well, I clean floors in grocery stores and convenience stores up and down the East Coast. He said, you saw about $1 million worth of equipment. He said, with the contract that I just got, I had to go out and buy that equipment because in a year, I'm going to make about $3 million. And we're in this little shack. We're in this little, it's literally a shack. It's a shed. And he's in there with his boys. And he says, yeah, I'm going to turn that $1 million into $3 million in a year. Now, if you can do that,
you can have this.
For this $60,000, you can keep it. I was like, I can't promise you that. And so I was like, wow. And so from that moment, I said, I got to be you. Because I'm chasing you. I'm begging you to leave $60,000 with me. And you're going, it's play money.
Did you make friends with that person?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That's funny you say that, because one of my first mentors at an early age was in the same exact business.
Yeah.
I hope it's not the same person.
Yeah, it could be. Was he out of Kernersville?
I know he wasn't, but he was a brother named Rick.
Nah, this wasn't a brother.
So he had the same thing. He had this. He did the same. He did malls.
Yeah.
He did, and he said, yeah. And I looked at him so simple growing up.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, I started to realize. And then I started to realize, and then he got real comfortable, and then he started showing me his stocks. He said, yeah, I manage my own account because they down there, they messed up my account, and I had to bring it back. Yeah. And that's interesting. So your first guy you went after was that you became mentors or friends with was somebody that
he really just kind of peeled scales off of my eyes when he was like $60,000. Go buy me a car with this. I'm tripling my money. I'm tripling the investment into me. And I was just like blown away. And then from that point on, I started paying attention to the people I was managing money for. And it was mostly business owners. And the things that they were doing, it wasn't rocket science. And I'm going, what?
My man said, I clean floors at the grocery store.
I clean floors at the grocery store. Another dude, he sold lamps. He did 2, what is it, the furniture markets in High Point?
Yeah.
Each furniture market, he did $10 million in orders, lamps. And guess what? He didn't make a lamp. He didn't own a lamp. He just resold lamps. He did lighting.
So he was drop shipping before drop shipping was drop shipping?
He was drop shipping. Yes. 10 mil a show.
That's crazy because a lot of people don't know that in High Point, North Carolina, I don't know if it still is, but at one point it was the furniture capital of the world. So it makes sense. People from all over the world, from China, from Germany, from Russia, came to High Point, right up the street, small town, and bought furniture. I mean, I heard of stories, people coming in there and buying $3-4 million worth of furniture to go back home.
No question.
And spending another $500,000 to get it back home.
No question, without a doubt. Yeah,
that's insane. So
I got introduced to that world as well through, being a wealth manager. But I'm seeing all these people with a bunch of money that put their pants on the same way I did.
Using REI Skip is very simple. All you got to do is register for an account, choose a payment method, upload your list, and you don't have to use any crazy Excel templates. Drag and drop your headers over and press start, and voila, watch the magic happen. What are you waiting for? You want to talk to more sellers? All you need to go is to reiskip.com and register for an account today.
And so then it was just like, man, I got to figure out how to become you.
How long did that take for you to get out of that? How long did it take for you to jump? Or was you doing both at the same time?
No, it took, so it probably took 4 years.
After you met him?
After I met him, it took 5 years for me to jump. Because here's the other thing. I was good at what I was doing. So I was making a lot of money. I was making a lot of money. So a lot of money creates comfort.
Exactly. I know the feeling.
Comfort is the enemy to what? Success. And so I'm going, all right, I want to be you, but then the stories just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, Max, it wasn't rocket science. The things that they were doing, they just had, some hard work, some dedication, and they started solving problems. Right. Exactly.
Selling lamps that I don't make or own.
People need lamps. Dude, no, here's the craziest one. I had a client. Dude came in, he made $250,000 a year refurbishing pallets.
I've heard of that.
He would go buy broken pallets from retailers.
Or they'll give it to him.
Or they'll give it to him. Yeah, if he just took it away. He bought them for like $1 a pallet. Go refurbish the things and sell them. He cleared $250,000 a year.
Full-time or side hustle?
No, that was full-time for him.
Wow.
But still pallets. So it was like, oh my God, there has to be the thing. There has to be the thing out there.
So what's your first business venture?
First business venture, 10 years old. I tell my kids all the time. In Wilmington, we used to knock down mistletoe.
Who?
Me and my boys. When I was 10 years old, me and my friends, we used to knock down mistletoe out of trees.
Okay.
Bag it up during Christmas and walk around and sell it.
That's a hustle.
Because
they had a whole theory behind kissing under mistletoe, right?
Absolutely. You got to have mistletoe at Christmas, and you got to have it in this historical district where you got the real big, pretty Victorian homes. You got to have mistletoe. So that was the first gig. Then we did, like as a youngster, we did the mold yards. We had the newspapers. I sold newspapers for the oldest black newspaper in the country, the Wilmington Journal.
I've heard about that in some documentaries.
So that was hot. But then like the first business venture where I really took some serious risk, it was the software company. In between time and in the meantime, I did like side hustles. I did the multi-level marketing things.
So what about the jump? When you made that jump, was it straight into software or was it?
Yeah, it was straight into software.
Okay.
It was straight into software. We it was crazy because I was having this like internal conflict with myself about what I was doing. So I had a partner in my wealth management team, and we had a big argument one day because he walked around like he was a prima donna. And I talked to him about value and like how we got to offer more value to our clients other than just managing their money. And I asked him one day, I said, so what did you do before this? And he said, I loaded and unloaded trucks. And I said, I worked in banking operations. I said, what's the difference between us and our customers? We just decided to learn this stuff. If they decide to learn this stuff, do they need us?
It becomes a commodity.
We need to add more value. But he wouldn't get that. He didn't get that concept. And so
I talk about that all the time. Like the information that we have out there, especially with the information age, the information that anybody possesses at any point in time will eventually become a commodity, especially how fast and how information is just out there. So of course, you better
Absolutely.
add more value, or that section of what you know is just going to become
Absolutely.
a YouTube channel.
Absolutely. And so, bro, yeah, so we had a big argument about that. And so I was having this internal battle, like, man, anybody can go do this. I make a lot of money, but anybody can go do this.
Yeah.
Like this is just, and then me, I have to, and then I don't. And so my boss at the time, we went to lunch, and I didn't have a whole lot of respect for him because I just didn't, because I didn't believe he could get himself out of a wet paper bag standing inside of a swimming pool, right? But he said something one day at lunch. And it was one of those, I got to take all my staff out to lunch just to talk to him. It's like a team building kind of thing. And he said, man, his buddy came in town, and his buddy sold boats. And he said, I kind of sat there talking to my buddy, and I realized, we make a good living, but we'll never own anything. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, dang, you're right. We'll never own anything. And so at that moment, it was like, I got to figure it out. This is not it. I got to get out of here. And so then I had a chance meeting with my business partner, Trinity Manning, and the rest is history.
So what type of software did you end up getting into?
So we developed a electronic health record software for behavioral health care, for mental health.
Okay.
So it was a practice management tool where they use it to run their entire practice.
Okay.
From scheduling to billing, from the time they got a patient or a client to the time they discharge that client, they could do everything, documentation, the whole 9 yards.
So where does that even come from?
Man, literally we tripped into that business. So Trent used to, I don't know if you remember, there was a time where if you developed a website for someone, you could charge them like $5,000 for it.
Absolutely, I remember that.
So he learned how to create websites, and he literally was doing that. And so he created one for this lady who owned a group home for troubled youth.
Okay.
And so they were literally just talking about the website, and they would meet just to look at the progress.
Just to get like copy, he was doing all the copies.
Yeah, all of that stuff.
So he started firing all the engines when he was talking.
No, he didn't.
Oh, wow.
He didn't. So she said, so she would come to the meetings, or he would go there, and she had all this paperwork, and she was complaining about something. He would overhear conversations. Yeah, I'll get that to you whenever I can get it to you. I got to find it, da-da-da. Yeah, I got to audit. People are coming in here. They're trying to take away my business because I'm not going to have this, and this. And so he was like, tell me about what you do. And so she did. And then she said, man, I wish I had something that could help me with all this crap. So he built an Access database overnight.
So he's the one who went to code in school.
Yeah, he's the artist.
He's the guy.
He's the artist. Yeah, I tell people all the time, I owned a software company and never wrote a line of code. He's the artist.
Trinity's the one that was.
Trinity's the artist.
Dropped out. He was in the class you dropped out of.
Right. He dropped out of computer science. He failed computer science.
Oh, he failed it.
He failed computer science.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he creates this Access database overnight, and then the lady kept saying, "Yeah, that's good, but I wish it had this. Then I wish it had this. Then I wish it had this. And then you mind if I show it to some of my friends that do the same thing?" Then they said, "Man, it'd be good if it had this. It'd be really good if it had this." And so that went on for some time. And then...
So you had your own beta testers kind of built in, telling you what was going on.
Dude, ignorance, I don't care what anybody says. If you do the right thing with ignorance, it'll change your life.
You know, I believe, me personally, you know, we're both entrepreneurs. I love to get into businesses I know nothing about, because the pure ignorance that you have causes disruption inside the industry.
Absolutely.
And so I agree with you 100%.
Absolutely. And you ask questions that the industry doesn't ask,
because we've done it this way.
Absolutely. So he gets an offer. Somebody offers him some money to buy this version of ShareNote that he created.
So
right?
The company's called ShareNote.
The company's called, the product is ShareNote. The company's called OnceLogix.
Oh, so OnceLogix, and you build products inside of there. The product that you guys were building was called
ShareNote. ShareNote.com.
ShareNote.com.
Right? Yeah, you can go take a look at it now. Looks nothing like we created, because we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they offer him money, right? So he's like, I ain't never seen this much money at the time, right? I ain't never. What do you mean? You gonna give me that? So he goes to his dad and says, "Dad, what do you think? Should I?" Dad's like, "I don't know. Have no idea." So his dad says, "I know who will know." Mm-hmm. So his dad says, "Let's go to a pastor. Go to our pastor of our church." So his dad went there. So the pastor's like, "I don't know." But what the pastor did was he brought together about 12 or 13 people in our church. And one afternoon, Trent and I, we played golf on a Saturday. And I was like, all right, man, I'll see you tomorrow at church. He was like, yeah, I got to get there early. I said, I got to get there early. He said, yeah, I got a meeting with Pastor. And I was like, I got a meeting with Pastor. What's that about? He was like, all right, you'll see in the morning. He didn't tell me anything. He was like, you'll see in the morning. So we get there, tell the whole story. And then at the end, Pastor says, all right, guys, tell them what you would do. Now, these are bankers. These are controllers of Fortune 500 companies. Nobody's an entrepreneur. Well, there's, I think, one attorney, maybe one CPA, but, no entrepreneurs that, were running enterprises, right? Mm-hmm. So we went around the table. And I'm the last person. And so by now he has a handful of customers paying him, right? And so everybody said, I would sell it. I would sell it. And so when he got to me, I said, how many people do you have paying you for that now? And he told me, he told us. And I said, well, so if you get 50 more people.
How much more would they offer you?
Well, no, not that. But if you get 50 more people paying you, that's going to equate to what they're offering you over and over and over and over and over again, right? He was like, well, yeah. I said, I swing for the fences, quote unquote. That's what I said that day.
And so, do you remember what year that was?
Yeah, we started a company in 2006, so that had to be 2005. And I said, I swing for the fences. And so we all got up. So we're leaving. Everyone is making promises to him saying, I'm going to put you in touch with so-and-so. I'm going to introduce you to so-and-so. And I said, because at the time I'm a wealth manager, I'm going to introduce you to the attorney that I bring my clients to for setting up businesses, giving business advice, et cetera, et cetera. Nobody did what they said they were going to do except for me. Mm. We set the meeting with an attorney here in Winston-Salem. We leave the meeting. I drive back to Greensboro. I'm on my deck. The phone rings. It's Trinity. Thanks for taking me to meet with this guy. I understood nothing that was said in that 1 hour meeting. So he says, I understood nothing that was said in that meeting. He said, I think I want to make a go at this, but I can't do it by myself. Are you interested? Now, I've been on this quest of being that guy, right, on the other end of the phone. So I just put 2 and 2 together. I said, let me think about it. I'm in. And that was it. So you said,
let me think about it.
I said, let me think about it. I'm in.
All right.
Right. So I was like, we can't do it by ourselves. Right. Because when he said that, my wheels were already turning for him to say, you should do this, 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 and this. But then when he invited me to be a part, I said, we can't do it by ourselves. So we reached out to our guy, Ty McLaughlin. Ty was also a wealth manager for, I think, American Express at the time. Mm-hmm. He had an office in Winston Tower.
Okay.
It was like 12 by 12, one of those smaller offices.
Okay.
Ty, where you at? I'm in my office. All right, stay there. We go to meet him in his office. Take 20, 25 minutes to run down, what we're talking about doing, run down the vision. What do you think? We need one more person. And we wanted to be you. He was like, let me think about it. I'm in. Our office became that office the next day. Our first office was his office the next day.
You remember what floor it was on?
He would know. I want to say because there were only a handful of floors they were building out.
Correct, yeah.
I want to say the 5th, maybe.
Okay.
I think. Okay. I'm not sure. But yeah, and so, yeah, our office became his office.
What's amazing in this story so far is that what you start to see is who your friends are, who you surround yourself with can put you in opportunities that you probably will never have by yourself. Yeah. And so that's an interesting thing where, the pastor put y'all together. Yeah. Y'all started having this conversation about the business. Yeah. You said, yeah, we can do it. Let me call somebody else who I trust. Yeah. And now y'all 3 amigos at this point.
3 amigos. We all know each other. We all trust each other. We set some pretty hard and fast ground rules at the beginning.
Which is important.
Check your ego at the door. I mean, you got 3 alpha males. Check your ego at the door. Stay in your lane. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell you about coding. I may help you with design or user interface, stuff like that, but I ain't going to tell you about coding. Ty's the CFO. I ain't telling you about how to run our money. I'm not telling you about taxes. I'm staying in my lane, sales and marketing. That's my lane. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. And so we had some pretty hard, fast rules, and we stuck to those. Yeah.
I like that. And so 2006,
we launched.
You guys are born.
Yeah.
Now, the first most important thing about any business beyond anything else is sales.
Right. Sales solves problems.
How you gonna get to 50 customers?
Yeah. So timing is very, very important in the ingredient to success.
Say that again, because people don't believe that.
Timing is a key ingredient to this thing called success.
And the reason why that's so true, if you look at other businesses we can look at in the past, you look at Napster. If Napster was a little bit later, it would be Apple.
Yeah.
You know, if all these other companies would have, if MySpace was a little bit later, it'd be Facebook.
Yep.
And so you just see that timing is such an important, it'll
so
work.
important.
It might work for a little bit, but timing is a very important part of the equation when it comes to entrepreneurship.
I'm gonna hit you back with a book that talks about that. I can't even think of the name of the book right now, but you're absolutely right. And what that means is, so there's a website now that's called Beatmaker, I believe.
Okay.
Where artists can just load, like if you make beats, you can just load that up. If you play guitar, you can play a riff, load it, and somebody will buy it. If you, I don't know, whatever, you know, if you're a percussionist, you play, drums, you can just play whatever, play drum set, play a beat and load that. In 2006, in Asheville, North Carolina, on a napkin, I wrote down, I got it. It's going to be called Beat Monkey. Artists don't need record companies.
A&Rs.
They don't need that. No. With this technology we created, they can upload da-da-da-da-da. If we had did it, it probably would have failed miserably.
Yeah. Because
it was too much ahead of its time, just like you talked about, right? Too early, which is the thing. People don't believe that. So timing was crucial, man. And so we went to, and again, we were so clueless. We were cool with technology, but clueless about the industry.
Okay.
So we lean heavily on our customers and we believed them. So a lot of times people will ask you stuff about like real estate and say, well, Max, how should I do this? Or what should I do with this? And you'll tell them and they'll go, nah, I don't want to do that, da-da-da. So whatever they told us, we did it.
Okay.
Period. So much so we rewarded our customers by not charging them for updates in the system because they became our research department. We have to go out and do the research.
You need that because R&D is expensive, right?
And they wanted to see us succeed. So they're giving us the game when it comes to that, right? So we create this thing now. Remember, we created for this lady who owned a group home. So everything was about group homes in this system. Mm-hmm. So not to go too deep into the mental health world, but when it comes to community mental health, they either want the kids in some type of group home setting or in the community, in their family, with their family, right? So back then in North Carolina, it was all about group homes. There were group homes everywhere. I used
to hear about it all the time.
There were group homes everywhere.
It was like a hustle.
It was yes, it was like a hustle. Because
it's like, it was at that point, maybe still is, there was a lot of government funding involved with those things.
Yeah, they made like, back then, and this is 06, 07, they made, put it this way, if they can only have 4 beds in the group home, they made $300,000 for every group home. They made $300,000 a year for every group home.
Wow.
Government funded, but then they can go out and get their own funds as well. But government funded $300,000 per group home. Some people had 10, 12, 20 group homes.
I remember that hustle. I remember, not the hustle, but I remember a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah. It was crazy. So then the legislator, so everything we have is built for group homes. So the legislative offices said, you know what? We want these kids out of group homes and into the community. So we're going to start paying people for community-based mental health, right? Weren't a whole lot of community-based mental health agencies. Mm-hmm. They were all group homes. So we were like, oh, yeah, it's not going to work for community-based mental health. But on a dime, we pivoted and we beat everybody to the market.
Because you were watching the news and probably just had your ear on.
We were listening to our customers.
Wow.
They were, because they have to go to these state meetings.
Okay.
They have to get audited by, state regulators. So we're just listening to them. And so they were like, yeah, everything's going community-based. Y'all got to get ready. And we got ready and beat everybody to the market. And we printed money from 06 till about 2009, 2010, we printed money.
So do you think, and that's the timing piece?
That's the timing piece.
And do you think that because people were starting fresh with this community base, they were more inclined to just get into a software that would help them from the start versus having to change what they already had going on?
That was a part of it. But the other thing was we saw a niche, and the riches are in the niches, right? So we saw a niche where people could go buy an EHR for mental health, but they were charging companies $50,000 for implementation. The people we were going after, kind of that middle, lower market, they didn't have $50,000, but they would pay us $10,000 a year forever. So we said, let's just go get a bunch of these.
So you were a subscription-based software.
Subscription-based, yep. Monthly recurring revenue. That's the holy grail.
MMR.
Yeah, that's the holy grail. And so we didn't charge a ton of money for implementation because they just did a demo with somebody who said you got to pay $30,000 implementation. We said, give us $300.
So you're betting on your product, and I'll explain to this. So MMR is monthly recurring revenue, and a lot of companies are based upon that. And that's why a lot of companies get you in on the free trial, because some companies that believe in their product and their customer service will give you a free trial and no setup fee and things like that, because they believe that they can keep you for X amount of months or years or whatever that is. Yep. And they do a calculation. What is the cost of acquisition per every customer? And if I offer this 7-day free trial and keep this, bump out of it, the setup fee out of it, how long of a runway will I keep this customer? And you guys betted on your software and betted on your customer service.
We betted on the software and we betted on customer service. Absolutely.
And it won.
And
so you guys are printing money through this recession and everything?
Yeah, it was
because it's a government funded program.
It's a government, and that's the other thing too. We didn't mess with anybody who did private funding. It was all Medicaid and Medicare, 100%.
So all your customers, your SaaS customers, used your software were government funded Medicaid, Medicare type facilities.
100%.
You guys ran the software for them. They kept going, recession proof.
Yeah. So
fast forward, anything changes in those times? Because I met you. This is a crazy story.
Yeah.
A lot of people know this. I had a software company that not an app. I had an app. Let me just back up. It was not a software company, right?
It was an app, right?
Yeah, it was an app. Let me stop over talking.
Right.
It was an app that we were building, and I don't know who introduced. The person probably gonna hate me for it. I don't remember who introduced us.
Yeah.
I think I know why I don't, because you block out certain things. Right. Somebody introduced us, and at this time, Rod and his guys were like idols to me when they were cooking. And so I remember exactly where your office was, exactly going into that. So I go upstairs, I go into the office, and these guys at a round table. And I sit down, I've got my S together. I'm gonna sit down. I sit down at the table, and Barad start grilling me with questions, and I'm like, I don't know the answer. Right. And this time he a big dog. Like, you could Google his name at this time and see that these guys are up on the uppity up. But just the time that he gave me allowed me to understand that I wasn't ready and I needed to go back and retool.
Yeah.
And at that point in my life, a few months later, the entire thing went away. Mm-hmm. And that's when I picked up real estate. Mm. And from there, I ain't never looked back.
Right.
So it's cool that I almost forgot about that, how we met. And so the time that you gave me, and throughout that, you helped me, like you was guiding me along the way on some other things as well too. And so that's interesting. I almost forgot that how we met. And so I don't know where I was going with that, but that's how you and I met.
Yeah.
But so you guys are printing money at this time.
Yeah, it's going really, really well at this time. And
fast forward to me a point of a pivotal moment again. Do you have one?
Yeah, several. There's several. So we are growing like really, really quickly, right? Growing so much so we're focused on sales, we're focused on customer service. Really wasn't focused on the technology, right? So 6 months when it comes to technology, that's archaic. Long time, right? That's archaic, right?
That's like 30 updates.
That's right. And we may have had 2.
Okay.
Right. And so we were at a conference, and there's the sheer volume that we added to the system came to a creeping halt. and we're at this conference, and we got all these people going, I need to get my documentation done. I need to get these schedules out. I got an auditor coming in here, and we're like, oh my God.
Wow.
And so it was like, okay, we got to figure it out. So then it became, problem solving mode. Let's figure it out. Let's spend the money we got to spend to get this, the technology to where it needs to be, so that it is, it's still adding value, so that so it's working.
Yeah.
Forget adding value, it's working, because it stopped working. Right. And so that was a major moment, because out of that, our customers at the time said, okay, you messed up.
We'll give you a pass,
but we're going to stick with you. We're going to stick with you. But you need to stay on your game. So they didn't have to do that.
Yeah. And that's probably because of the relationship you built with them that whole time coming up.
It was our relationship. Like right now, I really don't like how a lot of companies do business, because there's no relationship. And then we'll get into that with the other situation, but there's no relationship. And that's we could go into a business and ask them about their kids and events, because we had that kind of relationship, because we knew we knew about them. We had a relationship with them, and they would get offended after a certain point in time where we go like, I know you from where? Because our names went from Rod, Ty, and Trinity to Mr. Chernow. We walk in somewhere, it's Mr. Chernow, right? So it became that popular, especially in certain markets. And so they got offended when we didn't know who they were anymore, when that relationship seemed to just kind of, dissipate.
So question, how were you selling this? I mean, like, how were you gaining customers? Was it a lot of online marketing? Was it conferences?
Nah, we didn't spend anything on digital marketing. Yeah. So keep in mind, we didn't spend a dime on digital marketing, right? Unheard of today.
I was about to say that.
Unheard of today.
Good.
Unheard of today. But what we did do, we went to, first of all, we're in a niche market.
Correct.
All of our customers did the exact same thing. They had the exact same requirements. They went to the exact same conferences.
Okay.
They were governed by, their governing bodies were the exact same people. We went to where the fish were. If there was a state required meeting for providers, we would show up with pamphlets and lunch. And that was it.
So you guys were basically selling door to door at this point.
We were basically selling conference to conference. Conference to conference, yeah. But it was all, I mean, literally it was go to where the fish are and be in that space. And then we did things that other people didn't do. We helped, in the state of Louisiana, we helped create a provider association. They were getting railroaded by funding sources and by other governing bodies. So we said, y'all need power. Y'all need an association. We helped create that.
Okay.
We had like the top 30 providers in the state where we helped create their association first. And then they bought ShareNote. And then, John Guynford, been in the business 35 years, has ShareNote. You don't? Oh, John has ShareNote. Yeah,
I gotta use ShareNote.
I gotta use ShareNote. Right. FOMO. I gotta get ShareNote. Yeah, exactly. John has it. I gotta get it. So yeah, and then we would do stuff, man. We went to state of Louisiana. In 5 days, we did a 5-city tour where we just sent out stuff to providers saying, hey, we're going to be at this hotel in Shreveport. We're going to be at this hotel in Monroe. Free lunch. Just come out here to the store. We're writing orders in the back of the room. 5 cities in Louisiana in 5 days. So nobody else was doing stuff like that. We went to the people.
Y'all did guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla marketing.
Guerrilla. So y'all gonna hold this company forever?
Nah.
Was the plan always that you need to build something that you could sell, or you guys were just having fun?
Yeah. So I have a mentor, right? My mentor, his company, before he sold his first company, his company developed the fingerprint software that used to be in the iPhones. They had the technology so buttoned up that Apple couldn't duplicate it. Apple had to buy them to get that technology. They had it so buttoned up with patents. And so this guy, he's my mentor, right? So I go see him. He was down in Durham. Very rich entrepreneur, startup, environment down there. And so I go down, I have a conversation with him. And so we go to the restaurant. So I'm telling him, and we just hit 2 million, right? 2 million in revenue. Feeling good about myself, right? And so he said, we're talking. I said, yeah, man, we just hit 2 million, doing really good. We got 40, 50, 60% margin sometimes, doing really good. He was like, oh, it's a nice little lifestyle business you got.
That's what.
He's like,
ain't it crazy when you enter the right rooms?
He was like, bro, he was like, oh, good. It's like, dude, I told you I hit 2 million. Now he just sold his company for 360. So he's like, that's good. I'm like, what do you mean that's good? He said, that's a nice little lifestyle business. I said, what do you mean? He said, you probably got a nice car, probably live in a nice neighborhood, and you can take a trip whenever you want to. You and your partners. You guys probably travel together, don't you? I'm like, yeah, nice little lifestyle business. He said, when you want to create an enterprise that adds so much value that you can sell it for 3, 4, 5 times, what your revenue or what EBITDA looks like, you got to start over. Because right now you're too comfortable in this lifestyle business. Pissed me off. But from that point, changed everything in perspective. That one lunch, downtown Durham.
See how important it is to find mentors. Now, this wasn't a mentor you paid for. This is a guy we met at this startup event, and we just clicked. And he said, reach out. That's it.
Reach out.
And so that clicked after that lunch. What'd you do to change? What'd you do to get revenue up?
I went back and had a conversation with the guys and said, yo, we got to retool. Because we had goals, right? We had goals. We hit them. We surpassed our goals. But
goals were too
we
low?
didn't reset the goals.
Okay.
You happy that you hit, you happy that you average 10 points a game? Don't you want to average 15 points a game? So that's what we did. We went back and we retooled, and we set a goal to have an exit that we were happy with.
Okay. And so you set this goal of a revenue mark, I'm assuming.
Yep.
You guys hit that revenue mark.
Yep.
And you knew after leaving that lunch, you need to set goals so you can sell.
Set goals so we can sell. Because here's the thing about a lifestyle business. It's okay. If you want to have a lifestyle business, it's okay, right? You don't need to reset. You don't need to set more goals.
Correct. Like if you just want to eat off the business and have a good life, you good.
You good.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But yeah, but we were like, man, that's not what we want.
So how long from that lunch to
exit?
The exit.
Yeah, probably another 4 years.
Okay. So let's talk about this.
Yeah.
How do you prepare your business to exit?
Yeah. It's really simple. So first that's
the first time I've ever heard that answer. It's really simple.
To prepare your business to exit?
Yeah. How do you make sure you're ready to go?
Yeah. So the people who want to buy your business, they give you the blueprint.
Okay. Reverse engineering.
I can tell you, like, if you have a business that you want to sell, I can tell you what you need to do in order to prepare it for a successful exit. Right? Because they give you the blueprint. They say, we need this, we need this, we need this. You need to be looking at this. Like, if, which camera you say, look at this one. If nobody is working on anything, work on EBITDA every day.
Break it down. What's EBITDA? Because
EBITDA is basically your net income, right? It's the earnings before interest, taxes, whatever the D is and whatever the A is.
Debt and all that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically your net income. That's all that matters. It's not what we make, it's what we keep, right? And so if you focus on EBITDA every day, EBITDA is what becomes the primary determining factor of the value of your company.
So that's the true. So $2 million don't mean nothing if you burning 1.7 of it.
Correct. Doesn't.
It's the EBITDA.
It's the EBITDA.
Get your EBITDA looking pretty. You're gonna be leaving happy.
Get your EBITDA looking pretty. Period.
Okay.
Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. You gotta focus on your EBITDA. Once you focus on your EBITDA, and there are things that's going to affect your EBITDA.
Yeah.
You to keep it real simple, you got revenue and you got expenses. Like how can I increase my revenue? How can I decrease my expenses? Right? It's not rocket science. Now there's a lot more that goes into it because you got lawyers, you got 80-page contracts and all that. But I'm just giving you kind of like the 30,000 foot view. The simplicity
of it is get your EBITDA looking pretty.
Get your EBITDA pretty. Get your EBITDA. At one point we had, we hit like 70% EBITDA 1 month. So if I'm shopping 70% EBITDA And then that's not even, so when you get your EBITDA pretty, there's going to be even more things you can back out expense-wise.
To make it even look prettier.
To make it look prettier. So when I'm talking to somebody that wants to buy your company, I said, hey, that truck, we got to back that out because you're not going to be paying that truck payment. So now your EBITDA ticks up a little bit.
So question.
Yeah.
Who is buying companies? Like, who are these people? Why they care so much about EBITDA?
EBITDA is basically profit, and profit is the easiest thing to manipulate, to put lipstick on a pig, to ultimately resell that business.
Hold on a second. Let me back up a little bit. So people buy businesses, then just resell them.
Oh, that's the only reason they buy them.
Because they can make the EBITDA look prettier than you did.
Correct. Because they can make the EBITDA look prettier, because most people that are buying companies, they create immediate economies of scale because they have other companies. So your HR department, we don't need it. We're going to use our HR department.
Back that out, the EBITDA.
Back that out. Oh, now it just ticked up some more. And whatever else that we can create economies of scale.
And so typically different industries of business sell at different X multiples of
Correct.
its EBITDA.
Correct.
So when did you get your Super Bowl ring? And what I mean by Super Bowl ring is when did you exit?
So what's interesting, what's cool is we got to exit twice. Right?
Oh.
That's what's cool. That's what's
Hold
real
on
cool.
now, because I know
So
in order to leave twice, you got to come back in at least one more time.
Come back in at least one.
Like, I ain't good at math. I told you I wasn't good at math. But if you get to leave the building twice, I mean, you had to at least come back in one more time.
Right. So we played in the, using your Super Bowl analogy, we played in the Canadian Football League first, right?
So
meaning we bought or acquired one of our customers that was failing miserably. Right. So we got into the behavioral healthcare space as an owner of a behavioral healthcare agency, which was real cool because we got to test stuff in the system on our agency because our agency used the system.
So hold on. So you turned a research and development marketing budget into buying a business that will make a profit, but you get to test your software inside of that business. So you took a negative on a balance sheet, which is
correct, and
turned it into a profit center, and also got to share wow.
And then sold it.
I don't know if y'all understand that breakdown that I just said.
And then sold that.
And then, so you sold that business too?
Sold that business first. So that was kind of like, okay, this is how we do it.
Okay, so you really went, so you played in the Turkey Bowl over in Canada.
Turkey Bowl over in Canada first. Absolutely.
And then you got ready for the Super Bowl.
Got ready for the Super Bowl.
So that gave you your training wheels. After that, you kicked your training wheels off and you understood more.
A lot more.
So now when you went to go talk to the big, and who are the big boys? Not especially
private equity.
Private equity.
Private equity.
So private equity is just people that went out and raised a bunch of money.
Man, after getting, having a courtside seat, like Jay Sack and triple referee, after sitting on that courtside, I was like, where have I been all my life?
So you've been hustling backwards.
Been hustling backwards, doing really well, feeling really good about myself.
I feel like this has got to be a whole other podcast, bro.
I was like, where have I been all my life when I got that courtside seat? Because I got to play in that sandbox, in the private equity sandbox.
So you're saying the next level of doing private equity is probably easier than building a business?
Yeah.
From like what you guys did, Sharon, it's better. It's easier than building.
Yes.
I don't know if we can get into that.
Bruh. So when I understood it, it was like, oh man, we can do private equity with real estate.
All right, so this gonna be a long podcast, y'all. just go ahead and buckle in. I don't know where we at the time, but go ahead and press pause right now. We have 45 minutes. Go press pause right now. We have 55 minutes. Go press pause right now. Go use the bathroom. We're gonna come right back. I promise you.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's easier to be in the private equity side of things, right?
Yes.
So wait. Did you guys have a nice Super Bowl?
Yeah. I tell you, we had two.
You had two Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Was Share Note a nice Super Bowl?
Yes.
We're gonna leave it at that.
Share note was it was a can't say no. Here's what's crazy.
You can't even talk about it.
No, well, I can't talk about the details,
part,
but let me tell you what I can talk about. Because we had offers for share note before.
What will your offers look like?
Exactly. That's so we're sitting at a table. A guy says, somebody says, and I got to give Ty, who was our CFO, a whole lot of credit, because at one time we almost took $5 million for share note.
Really?
But we turned it down.
Okay.
Then we almost took $8 million for share note.
So he was holding strong,
and we turned it down. Well, he made some good points, but we're like, we're tired.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted to do. So we turned out $8 million.
So,
right. So then we get the offer, and it's like, okay. And then what sweetened that offer was the opportunity to participate in the new company.
Now explain that to me.
Okay.
So you took the offer.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, do you think they heard about you turning down the other offers?
No.
Because it's all private.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, NDAs
everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. So you took the offer, and they gave you some type of participation in the bigger game.
Yeah. So we took, which happens a lot of times. So let's just get into private equity first.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you how. So in private equity, there are. So I used to tell people that there's no way you can become a millionaire if you're an employee. I no longer believe that, because employees in private equity firms
make millions, become
millionaires in 2-3 years, 4 years. Okay. So in private equity, and there's a book called the Private Equity Playbook.
Put that in the show notes. Put that in the show notes.
The Private Equity Playbook. Great read. And I promise you, if you get the audio book, you'll go through it, because there's just so much great information. So with private equity, you have the private equity firm, right? So that's the firm. That's the KKR. That's the big boy, right? So, and then you may have some, KKR may bring some smaller private equity groups in as a part of the deal. But then you have the CEO, you have the CFO, basically your C-suite.
Okay.
So I got the GM, I got the C-suite, and then you have these top line managers that have vested interest in turning this profit.
That was you.
That was me. Once after, because, and I'm gonna get to that point. Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So I became one of those top line managers. So as a top line manager, you got something called B shares, right? Almost like stock options.
Okay, so you get, instead of preferred share, you get a B share.
You get a B share. Founders get A shares. So we're sitting there with an A share position and a B share position, because we become top line managers.
And so do they usually retain, they usually, from what I know, they usually make an offer based upon, hey, we want to keep you because you did such a good job building this that we feel like you can be a better part of the picture. We're going to offer you this, but here goes this other thing that we're going to offer you. We're going to dangle this back here. And if you believe in yourself, come rock with us as a top line.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're absolutely correct. So what they do, so we have the GM, that's the big the firm. We got the coaches, that's the C-suite. Then we got the players, that's the top line management folks. And then you got everybody else that they supervise. That top line manager on up, they have B shares. And if you're a founder in the whole conglomerate, you probably have A shares. And then it's like off to the races. Go. And it is the general manager wants their money back in 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And then some. So you got 3, and so you have these ridiculous goals out the gate. Year over year, 70%. We need to increase year over year 70%.
So that means their C-suite is impeccable when it comes to the CFOs and the top. Like, they got to understand how to manipulate EBITDA like it's no other.
Not only that.
I bet it's a cutthroat.
Have you heard of ARPU? You know what ARPU is?
ARPU?
ARPU, ARPU, average rate per unit.
No.
Okay, so let's say you could sell your real estate based on the average rate per unit.
Okay, average.
Average rate per unit.
So not the actual.
Average rate per unit.
Okay.
You can report your earnings based on your average rate per unit. So your average rate per unit is X, and you have 100 units.
Multiply.
That's 100X. That becomes your value. Yeah, but the majority of those are well under that average. You may have 2 or 3 that's pulling you up to the average.
It's like the S&P 500. How
Exactly.
Apple is holding the whole thing up right now.
Yeah.
But if you dig in there.
Yeah. So when I buy it from you, right, I got this average, and you sold it to me based on ARPU. When I dig in, like I just bought all these storage units, I'm like, oh my God, I only got 5 properties that, I only got 5 boxes that are really good. I got all this other junk, right? So there's a thing called ARPU that people can use to value their companies, right?
And so let me just kind of summarize this for the guests.
All right.
You have people that go out there and build companies.
Right.
They do well enough to where they get the attention of private equity. Private equity are some big players, sometimes with billions of dollars. They go up and they buy multiple companies like yours in order to put together a healthcare ecosystem.
Correct.
Healthcare software ecosystem.
Correct.
So now there's 10 share notes and all these other guys,
right,
and they put it together and make a big sweet pie of healthcare software.
Yeah, almost like a closed-end fund or almost like a mutual fund.
And then they just saying, look at all the revenue we bring in.
Look at all the revenue. Look at all the EBITDA.
And then somebody,
look at all the profit.
look at all the EBITDA we bring in. And somebody that's even bigger than the hedge fund that has billions of dollars that only cares about returning a profit over X amount of time says, I'll buy that EBITDA. So they're buying cash flow.
They're buying cash flow. But before that, to get to that healthcare ecosystem, that's all they did. They bought EBITDA and look for opportunities to instantly inflate the EBITDA.
All within a 3-4 year period.
Oh yeah, a 2-year period.
So somebody gives me 10 billion. I got X amount of time to go up and buy all these joints.
I'm buying EBITDA wherever I can find it. I'm buying EBITDA.
That puts a whole nother perspective on the sense of selling your business. That, you know how we think, okay, the big dog is like, we gotta cater to the big dog. The really thing is he's playing with a clock.
Oh no, without a doubt.
That never came to me till right now.
Without a doubt. So the company that ended up buying us, they bought 19 companies in about 3 years.
19 type software companies.
Yeah. And 19 and onboarded. Not only buying, because buying them is one thing, you got to onboard them.
You got to operate them and everything.
Exactly. And then you got to operate them, right? So yeah, in 2 years, with the expectation that we're going to exit in 2 more years.
And so you helped that?
I helped that part, right.
Okay. You helped the onboarding and making sure they running looking good?
Absolutely. So I ended up running, I ran the sales organization for a share note. I ended up running 5 or 6 different companies, the sales organizations for the companies within the family.
Software conglomerate of healthcare.
Conglomerate, right. And so then, so we'll take a step back. So to get to that position, when we took the offer, we took 75% up front, and then we rolled back in 25%. Now we're owner of the conglomerate.
So you took your equity play out of the first one and said, I'm gonna bet on myself and go second one because you can double, triple, whatever
exactly.
happens.
We can do it all over again. So I tell people, and then in April, no.
So wait, that looked like 2 Super Bowls.
That's what. We sold it twice. So in May of 2021, this company called KKR came in and bought the conglomerate. And so,
can I Google this?
Yeah.
All right, I will.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but look it up myself.
Yeah, look it up, and you'll see share note as a part of the.
Okay.
A part of that little company in Winston-Salem, little software company in Winston-Salem. That's a part of that deal.
And so the big boys came and bought the conglomerate, the healthcare software conglomerate.
Right, and so now they are racing to
do it again.
But
who's at the top?
Exactly. Great question. Great question. So
who's at the top?
There's only 1 or 2 people that could possibly buy it, or they'll take it public.
So you talking about like Berkshire Hathaway buys these type of things?
Somebody like that. Somebody like a Berkshire, yeah. Somebody like that. Or it could be a competitive play where you have other healthcare organizations that are large enough to possibly buy the conglomerate again. But if not, they'll take it public. And then you got the whole world. They're selling to the whole world then.
through a SPAC. They taking it probably through a SPAC, special purpose.
They'll just
do a whole.
Yeah, just do an IPO. Just do an IPO. So imagine. So let me in your terms, right? Give you because the understanding, like the simplicity of this is I need people to understand the simplicity, right? Because this is a whole nother entrepreneurial game.
This is a game they don't tell us about.
This is a game. No, nobody looked like me. Nobody looked like me. There's only one person that looked like me at KKR, but in my organization, I was it. So what did you say about the C-suite? You said the C-suite had to be what?
They had to be good at getting that EBITDA, manipulating EBITDA.
Yeah. So imagine they got good enough. They were good enough for a KKR to come in and say, "Oh, I want to buy you," right?
Do they come with the package too?
They come with the package temporarily, but then what do?
They go do it again.
And again. That's their career.
And they run it 2-3 year cycles.
That's their career. So when I'm trying to get the gig at IBM and I want the company car and the expense account, they're going, no. So there was a guy, and we'll leave him nameless, that came in to help with the last deal that I was in, and he was there 6 months and probably walked away with $3 million.
On his 5th or 6th Super Bowl?
Probably. And that's a career. I want to overemphasize that point. It's a career.
It's a career. It's not a hustle.
It's not. I don't go get another job. It's like if it's not an equity backed firm, I don't want to mess with it. And if I'm not in the C-suite or a top level manager, I don't want to deal with it. I don't go get a job like at a Google or Apple or.
So hold on a second. So I'm doing my math. You played in the Canadian Football League.
Yes.
With selling the actual operating business that the actual mental health care facility.
Yeah.
Then you went to the Super Bowl, sold your joint.
Yeah.
And then you went to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
So you really got 3 rings.
Yeah. Yeah, me and the team, not just me, but the team.
No, I get that. Yeah. You hear speaking on behalf of the team. Y'all got 3. You got 3 rings in the span of when did you get? When
that was
did
probably? Gosh,
I know it took you all the time to build. You guys all that time to build ShareNote, but in the span of being acquired to being.
Yeah, so probably we got 3 rings in probably 6 years. 6 years, 7 maybe.
That's like Jordan stats.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, congratulations. Give them a round of applause, y'all. Because first of all, you don't really see too many brothers exiting. My guy Daryl Freeman is one of them. I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love his story too.
Yeah.
I love a lot of similarities. Yeah. I love
What's
his
next?
story.
And he talks about the simplicity of that, like you do. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, dude. So I recently started a company. I recently started a trucking company.
Wow, you chilling?
I know, because I went into this industry because it's archaic, right?
Here we go again, another archaic industry.
It's an archaic industry.
But this one's a giant.
It's a gigantic industry. But so was the electronic health records.
That's true too, though.
And they told us, they're like, yeah, we tried that. We tried that web-based thing. You need to make it server-based. We tried that web-based thing. It's not going to work. So with trucking, I can do with trucking what was done with this healthcare organization.
Talk about it.
So right now, on the outside looking in, it's like, oh, Rod's, he started a trucking company at the worst possible time to start a trucking company. Depends on what lens you're looking through. Mm-hmm. Some people, it's like, it's the absolute worst time. Equipment prices are really, really high. Freight rates are really, really low. Fuel prices are really, really high. Drivers, good drivers, are scarce. Worst time to start a trucking company. But those are the reasons why I want to double down in this business.
Okay.
Right. So, and then there are other people that want to get in the trucking business.
So you got a trucking background?
No.
You drive a truck?
No. You want to hear a funny story?
You own a truck?
Let me hear. Yeah, I own several now.
No, not that type of truck. Like even just a Ford or something?
No, I got an SUV. But I never own a pickup. I never own a pickup. But funny story. So I bought a box truck, right? 26-foot box truck. And I bought it, and I was excited to buy this box truck. And when I bought it, my fleet manager said, 13.6, Rod. That was the day I bought it. I was like, all right, cool.
That's the height.
Yeah, that's the height. I was like, all right. Like, why you say 13.6? Just want to remind you. So I get this box truck, right? And so I'm tooling around town, this box truck. And after a while, I forget I'm driving a box truck because I'm comfortable, right? So I need a place to park it. So I found a guy who said, yeah, you can park it here. I charge $100 a month to park it. I'm like, I bet. So can you meet me today? He was like, yeah, I'll meet you. So I'm 50 yards from where I'm going to park it. And I hear, and I'm like, what is wrong with my engine? I'd gone under a train trestle. That was 12 feet 7. That's not 13.6.
That peel your muffin cap back.
Bruh, like a sardine can. I was like, what just?
The can opener.
Oh my God, I was so mad. I wasn't mad because of the thing.
That's what you want to know?
Nah, I ain't seen one of those. Nah, because then, I tried to cover it up real quick.
Software developer sells his company and crashes.
He crashes the box truck.
I don't know what he was doing.
Crashes the box truck.
What furniture he was moving or why he was driving the box truck.
Had no business driving the box truck. Had no business driving it.
But I'm like, cruising around.
I'm just cruising around. And now it feels like I'm driving a car. I forget about all the things that truck drivers
have to think about. It is like, it's ridiculous. So now you got a convertible box truck.
Got a convertible box truck. Yeah. Convertible. Thanks. Yeah. Convertible. Yeah. Top.
So what kind of, so now you can haul like giraffes.
I can haul anything high. You got something that didn't be hauled that's high. I got you. Yeah. It looks like Noah's Ark. Like, I got you.
So this is your new, I'm not going to get bored. I want to do something different.
Yeah, but not only do I want to do something different, I want to do it differently.
You want to change the industry.
So imagine you want to get in the trucking business, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a first of all, it's so much to know. Oh my God. I thought software and I thought behavioral health and mental health and healthcare period was a lot to learn. This is ridiculous. I mean, so many moving parts. So many people got their hand in the pot. The bureaucracy is ridiculous. Let's say you want to get in the business, right? So what if you could buy into a 10 truck, for lack of a better term, we'll call it fund, right? So I got a 10 truck fund. It's $1 million fund. I'm raising $1 million. Minimum investment is $5,000, and you buy into it. So okay, I'm still raising like it. And then when I get the $1 million, I go buy 10 trucks. That's going to turn, even in these bad times, going to turn $120,000 a week.
Just buying cash flow.
Yeah, same concept. Then I work on the EBITDA, and then we do what? We package it and sell it. And then we go do the same thing over and over again. You're happy because your 5 turned into 7, 8 in 2 years, which you probably can't do that in the stock market. Definitely can't do that in the stock market. No, you're not an entrepreneur, so you're not going to do that. So. And then we go, and then we do the same thing again and again and again and again in an archaic industry. So any business that people are in, think like that. You could. There are other people that want to do what you do. Let them in by creating something similar. Real estate. So in that healthcare conglomerate, the underlying asset was the software company. There are 19 of them. The underlying asset can be a truck. The underlying asset could be a house. The underlying asset could be whatever, right? So go create the same scenario.
Interesting.
Yeah, and do it over and over again. The underlying asset could be an apartment building. The underlying asset could be a, high rise. It's like you just need, the playbook allows you got to have an underlying asset that you can create value. And then you increase that EBITDA, and then somebody's going to say, oh, I got money because there's a lot of liquidity. And then they go buy it. And here's the cool thing. It's mostly borrowed money.
Everybody's borrowing from somewhere.
It's borrowed money. So it's not like KKR is pulling this money out of their chest. They're going to you, and saying, hey, give me 100. I'm going to give you 100. In 2 years, I'll give you 140 back.
But they talking to the big guys though. At that point, right?
Oh.
Or the next step is talking to the big guys.
Possibly. So the CEO who started the company that ended up becoming a part of the company, he now has influence with 4 or 5 different private equity groups. I have a relationship with him. I call him and say, hey, what's going on? He says, oh, so-and-so, Lightyear's getting ready to do a deal. You want in on this deal? This is what da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have access to those deals.
And so he reaching back to everybody he got paid out.
He's reaching back.
And you know he done took everybody to the Super Bowl already.
He's taking himself to the Super Bowl and everybody else with him. yeah, his Super Bowl. My ring is,
Hey, everybody on the team get a ring.
Everybody get a ring. Yeah.
Even if you come halfway through the season.
Right. Everybody on, heck yeah. You come 6 months before the exit, you get a ring.
So what do you tell people out there that wants to get into entrepreneur? Well, matter of fact, not wanting to get an entrepreneur. Tell people right now that are running their business and want to exit. What's the best strategy, or what's some tokens, some drive, something you can give them?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to have a business. No disrespect to anybody that's out there hustling, working really, really hard. But first of all, you have to have a business that's creating value, tremendous amount of value, and your EBITDA is pretty. So if you are a t-shirt, if you're selling t-shirts, right, and you're selling 500 t-shirts a month, what's your plan to sell 10,000 t-shirts a month, right? Because we got to create that. Because can I sell a $500 t-shirt a month business? I could, if somebody's willing to buy it, because there might be somebody out there willing to buy for whatever reason. They need t-shirts for their other 3 businesses. Mm-hmm. They'll buy this t-shirt company, and people do competitive deals like that all the time.
I know, yeah.
They do competitive deals like that. It's like, I need t-shirts. Oh, I'll go buy a t-shirt company. I'm not going to start making t-shirts, right? So can I do it that way? Yeah, I can. But what can I do to increase the overall value that I give people? What can I do? And so you solve that problem. And then the other thing is, you may say, maybe this isn't the business I'm supposed to be in, or what about the space that I'm in is the real business, right? The largest record company is who?
I think it's Warner Music or business.
Apple.
Sorry, let me back up. You ain't lying.
They sell more music than anybody.
They're the largest software company too. They get
sell
30%
more music than
everybody.
Anybody. They start off becoming a music company. No, they said, but so that's their business.
Napster.
Right.
Could have been Napster.
Right? So whatever you're doing, you go, oh man, like I'm in a t-shirt business. Maybe the machines that print the t-shirts is what I need to be doing. Yeah. Maybe that. So find the business that's going to increase your revenue and your profitability exponentially, and then just run hard, set goals, run hard, hit the goals. And model yourself after someone that's done it. That's the other thing too, because we talked to several, I got to shout out to John Stoudemire and shout out to Kelly Coley. John Stoudemire was in my 3rd grade class. Right? John was the fastest kid in the school. I was like, why is John so fast? How can he be? And I could never beat John. I'm always in second. Field day at Max, I'm coming in second. So one day, I'm 8, 9 years old. I'm like, John has to be doing something I'm not doing. So I followed John the whole day. That was my first introduction to modeling. Whatever John ate at lunch, I ate. When John got up to go to the bathroom, I went to the bathroom. Yeah. I'm doing everything John did, right? Did I become faster? No, right? But it kind of put into me, okay, find out who's doing what it is that you want to do, and then find out. Kelly Coley. When I became a wealth manager, it's like 150 wealth managers in the whole company. Somebody in the top 5 was in Kernersville, North Carolina. A young lady named Kelly Coley. Called Kelly up, said, Kelly, can I come hang out with you for a week? Dude, when I tell you, when I left that following week, I did everything Kelly did. She's in top 5. Why wouldn't I?
Of course.
Why wouldn't I? I was the rookie of the year that year. And again, I was top 5 every single year. So model after someone that's already doing it. It's like, it's a lot of people, their ego is too big for them to do that. I'm not saying go copy someone. I'm saying model after what they do.
Take what they're doing good.
And then sprinkle your sauce in there, man. Yeah, absolutely. So, man, yeah. So
this has been crazy, man. I feel like I need a part 2. because
let's do it.
Because I feel like we can dig into some other things that's on a high level conversation that a lot of people that's at a certain level of business need to understand. So we gotta come back. But this is coming here. I thought he had 1 Super Bowl ring. Not only figure out he got 3 Super Bowl rings in the sense of business. Exited 3 businesses, and that's amazing. So listen, guys, there's gonna be a lot more of this. Rod is the first of many. Yeah. You know some of the guests we got coming up. It's gonna
you got some fire guests coming up, man. It's
gonna be fire.
I might come sit in the audience when a certain person comes.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Eat off his tree. Yeah.
So Rod, where can people find you?
Roderick L. Brown. So Roderick L. Brown on Instagram, Roderick L. Brown on Twitter, Roderick L. Brown. Everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Just search it.
Facebook is Rod Brown. But yeah.
So go follow him on Instagram. And my thing is, here's the thing that I'm doing. I'm bringing people on that you don't know, that I know, or know somebody that know them that are doing crazy good things. Ain't too many times you find somebody that's a brother that's went out there and sold a software company, not only once, but twice, and exited a business, right? Because that, for every entrepreneur, that is the holy grail. And so congratulations to Rod and his whole team over there that built it. Thank you for mentoring me when I was this 04, 05, somewhere around there, 06, somewhere when I was, 2006. Where am I?
2007?
2007.
7, 8, somewhere like that. Because we were in that building, so it had to be 7, 8, somewhere there. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you, man.
Man, thank you, bro. Listen, people don't realize, man, the value that you put out into the world.
It's crazy, man, because of people like you have given me something when I was, younger, so that it makes me want to give back because I know how it impacted me.
But I don't think people appreciate like what you've done.
There's a lot of noise out there.
There's not too many people that have done what you've done. Like you've probably single-handedly changed the lives of a bunch of people. And what's cool is not only did you change their life, but you changed the trajectory of their generation.
Yeah, change their family tree.
The entire tree. So man, just shout out and
appreciate
salute,
it, man.
Salute.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate you guys tuning in for the first episode. We're back of the Max Maxwell Show. We got many more coming. Don't go anywhere. Do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell because content is just dropping on your head top very fast. And don't forget, if you listen anywhere you listen to the podcast, give me a rating. Give me a 5-star. I greatly appreciate it. We'll keep making more of these hits. And if you got any questions about the podcast, we're going to have show notes. Make sure you go download the show notes from our website. And I'll see you guys soon. All love and peace. We out.